We are back again with another live stream. A bit of a different one today. We're going to do a preview and a slash like a little debate talk. Obviously, got the man Boring.
Morning, everyone. How are we doing? Thanks for having me, Ty.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Like I said, you're free to come on this platform anytime you want, mate.
Appreciate it.
We'll start. I've got a couple points I want to go over, but we can just start with just the Everton game, the preview, and maybe even talk a little bit about Leverkusen and just Champions League in general, because obviously I don't think a single English team won. Obviously Arsenal and Newcastle drew and everyone else lost. So it's L for England right now, I'm not going to lie.
Pretty humbling that was, wasn't
it? Yeah. How do you feel about the Champions League campaign anyway, around the 16 so far?
Well, Arsenal paved their own pathway to the round of 16, didn't they? They went unbeaten. They won every game. And they won the right to get the draw they got. I think overall the Premier League probably needs to look at itself a little bit, or the teams that are competing in these European trophies need to look at themselves a little bit, because I do think there is the argument to be made that there is a little bit of an English arrogance in approaching these trophies. You know, I was listening to YouTubers, and I was listening to the radio and podcasts and whatever over the last week or so, and people were talking about there being 6 teams in the last in the next round of the Champions League and things like that, and it's just not going to be the case, is it? You look at Man City, they're probably going to go out. Chelsea are probably going to go out. Yeah. Newcastle are going to struggle. Yeah, I'd love to see Newcastle go through. As much as I hate Newcastle from a Premier League perspective, as a club and for the fans, that would be great for Newcastle. I can't see Tottenham going through. Liverpool could get undone. I do think Arsenal will beat Bayer Leverkusen, regardless of my biases. I do think we'll beat them at home. So you're looking at potentially 1, 2 going through. That's embarrassing, especially when you look at the hype that we've created for ourselves.
Definitely.
What do you reckon?
Well, same here, really. I think for me personally, I can see it. I'm actually predicting that every English team is going to go out, to be honest, in the round of 16. I think the whole gimmick of us being like the strongest league is relative to the fact that the league is just physical. So if you look at like the traits that each league has, Spain is techie, Italians defensive, and like English is very physical. And I think the whole thing of it being very physical is definitely overhyped, because if you look at like a all-time La Liga 11 versus Premier League 11, I don't think a single Premier League player bar Thierry Henry gets into the all-time La Liga 11, and you can even argue Thierry Henry doesn't. You could argue. I'm not, because I'm a Thierry Henry defense league, but for other people could argue that Thierry Henry doesn't get in, but for me he does. But even still, maybe you could even argue, maybe I couldn't even argue with Vidic, couldn't argue with Van Dijk. Some people would argue with Van Dijk. I think Liverpool fans would probably argue with Van Dijk. So I think when it comes down to it,
he's in the top 2 Premier League defenders, central defenders, to be honest.
I don't think so either. I think Van Dijk was very, very good, especially in 2019, but I don't think he's as good as Liverpool people think. Obviously, Liverpool fans are going to hype him up because they're Liverpool fans. Of course you do. You always back your own players, but yeah. Everton, Arsenal take on Everton Sunday at the Emirates Stadium. Not sure what the time is because I didn't prepare.
With a 5 o'clock or the 5:30, and then Man City play at 8 o'clock.
Okay, so we're playing before Man City, so we could potentially go 10 points clear with 2 games in hand against Man City, which would be great. Thoughts on the title race so far? Thoughts on the Everton game? How do you feel about the Everton game?
I think Arsenal in a really good position, actually. I had a look at this. I did some reading last night while I was getting ready for this, and as far as the numbers go, Man City have the better run-in, right? Mm-hmm. However, I think that might be slightly underneath rose-tinted glasses, because I think that some of their fixtures, they've got teams that are still competing for the Champions League places, but they've also got teams that are trying to avoid relegation. So their next game is West Ham. West Ham are in good form. They're playing much better. I'm not stupid enough to say that they're not better than City. Obviously, it goes without saying, right? But they are in a better moment, which seems to be a bit of a buzzword in football right now. They are in a better moment than Man City. Man City are off the back of a draw against Forest, and then they got absolutely splattered by Real Madrid. I know they beat Newcastle, but they always beat Newcastle.
Yeah,
it's a bit like playing Fulham. It's a free hit for them.
yeah.
I think West Ham will give them a really good game. And I wouldn't be surprised if West Ham got a draw. They're at home, by the way, West Ham. And then they have to follow that up straight away with another away fixture at Chelsea. And I think that one is after the Carabao Cup final as well. So that'll be after the international break then, I think. So
it's interesting.
Yeah, so they've got 2 hard fixtures on the bounce, followed up by Arsenal at home. So we're after Chelsea, whereas our next 3 are Everton, Bournemouth, City, and Everton and Bournemouth are at home. I think the next 3 games are key. The next 3 games,
the next 4 games in all competitions, or next 5 games in all competitions, are going to decide whether I've got a hairline by the end of the season, and whether you're going to see very many crash out streams. Because I tell you what, if we can win the next 5 games in all competitions, I think that will guarantee us a cup double. It guarantees us 1 trophy, obviously, because the Carabao Cup finals next Sunday, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So these are a couple of my predictions before we tuck into the Everton preview. But I think we beat Everton quite comfortably, to be honest. I know I was watching Shane Goon's stream last night, and he was a couple of people saying 2-1, some people said 1-0, 1-0 to the Arsenal. And I'm going to say this right now. I'm going 3-1. I think there's going to be a little bit of a surge on tomorrow, because the criticism he has to see it and say, like, look, this is the way we're playing football. Whether you think it's sustainable or not, it's uncomfortable. I don't like winning 1-0 all the time, especially when I was saying on my stream yesterday that our attack can't bail out our defense, but our defense can bail out our attack, and it doesn't go vice versa. It's not a symbiotic relationship. So for me, I want to see a good attacking performance. I want to see a good defensive performance, and I want us to put Everton to bed by halftime. When's the last time we put a team to bed by halftime? I can't even tell you. Probably not this season. I can't. Other than lower league. Yeah. I'm talking about like a big important game. Yeah. I also think Man City will. I've predicted Man City will lose to West Ham. By the way, I predicted that. I said it on my stream like a couple of weeks ago. I said firmly West Ham will pick up form and they will drop points. But I did also say that we will probably draw against them, because Declan Rice always plays terrible against West Ham. So I think that'll be a free hit for both. I think that'll be some points for both of them. But I think they'll lose and we'll get a draw. So I think that will help us ultimately anyway. But ideally, the ideal scenario is that they lose and we win. But I can only dream.
I think the only problem there, the only worry I have is that it looks like Somerville's going to be out for the game, which I think is a real shame.
Yeah, that's annoying. I was watching West Ham Fan TV. Big up Nick. The scans are going to come through, so we'll know whether he's going to make the game or not. Hopefully, he does make the game anyway. I'm going to get some comments. Big up Tyrell. I see us in Liverpool going through. City, Chelsea, and Spurs, Newcastle are all out for me. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think Liverpool go out to Galatasaray. I know they lost the second legs at Anfield, but I don't know, man. I just think the way I've seen the twerking defending I've seen from Van Dijk and Konate, man, they just look like Konate looks like he doesn't want to be there. He's doing like, I call it right now is the Black Van der Ven. He just looks like he doesn't want to be there right now. And Van Dijk, I just think he's finished, bro. He's finished, bro. I just think he's finished, man. Like, but big up to you, Terrell. Big up Chris. Big up lads. Hope you're well. Chris, obviously, I know you're a Liverpool fan and stuff. What do you think about? I think you mentioned yesterday that you think Liverpool are going to attack Galatasaray in the second leg. How do you feel about taking Galatasaray at home? Because I don't think you. I think it's going to be hard if you do go through. I think it's going to be a lot harder than you think, but I'm not confident, to be honest. And I do want Liverpool to go through, actually, to be honest. To be fair, but big up to you, Chris. Big up Green FC Saturday at 5:30. Big up, Roy. You always start with this comment, bro. You always start with this comment, even though you're the biggest Arteta in, man. You're such a troll, bro. Such a troll, man. You always say literally. That's literally your tagline at this point. Big up Terrell. Yeah, we're tomorrow at 5:30. See you at 8 p.m. against West Ham. Yeah. Big up Roy. Our last 5 Premier League games will all take place in London. Oh, I didn't know. Right. Oh, we only leave
London. We only leave London, I think, for one more fixture, and that's Man City. I think all of the rest of the fixtures are in London.
Yeah, because we've got what? We've got Crystal Palace last game of the season. We've got
away, Burnley at home, West Ham away, Fulham at home, Newcastle at home, City away, Bournemouth at home, Everton at home. So all of our remaining fixtures are in London.
We cannot lose this, man. We cannot. If we, bro, I'm telling you right now, we've been given Senzu beans, we've been given the Dragon Balls, we've been given Excalibur. We have to win this title, bro. We have to win this title.
But I believe we will. I do believe we will. I'm not coming up here because I know you like to call me a top gooner, right? I ain't no top gooner.
You're a medium gooner now.
I'm a mid gooner. I'm a fence-sitting gooner. Listen, I do genuinely believe that we are going to win the league, and I refuse to put my energy anywhere else because otherwise I'll be miserable, right? I'm older than you by about 5 years, I think, right? I'm 40 this year, right?
Okay, so 8 years then.
All right, okay, so I'm quite a bit older than you, right? So not only do you remember I not only remember the Wenger years, I still remember Graham, right? Wow. So like, all right, less of the wow. Like so I remember 2 levels of success, right? So I'm desperate for this, and I don't, and I'm not going to sit here and say that certain people, players, management, senior figures aren't without criticism, because there is definitely criticism to be had, and I know we're going to get into that. But I genuinely think we're going to win this league, and I think we could do more than just the league. But I genuinely think we're going to win the league. Okay. And it's not, and even if you look, so I said we don't leave London apart from City, right? Mm-hmm. Man City have got to go to West Ham, they've got to go to Chelsea, they've got to go to Burnley, they've got to go to Everton, they've got to go to Bournemouth, right? They're remaining away fixtures. Whereas our away fixtures are City, which is quite far out, and then we've got West Ham and Palace. There are our other 3 remaining away. There are 3 remaining away games.
Do you know what my dream scenario is? My dream scenario is that somehow we have the league locked up by the time we play West Ham and lose on purpose, so Tottenham get relegated. That would actually be.
We're not doing that. We're not going to behave like Spurs, throwing away their position in the Champions League so that Man City could go on to win the league. We're not.
That's what I'm saying. I want our stuff to be locked up before we go and do something stupid. But obviously, that's, to be honest, for that scenario to have happened, we should have beat Liverpool at home and Forest away. But it is what it is anyway. It is what it is.
You're right. You're right.
So I want to do predicted 11 and then your preferred starting 11. So what do you think the manager will go with?
So I think it will look pretty much as we've seen it. I think it will be Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Hincapié, Zubimendi, Rice. I think he will play Eze if Odegaard isn't available. Saka, Trossard, and Gyökeres. That's what I think he'll play. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily. I would like to see something different. I would actually like to see. I would probably keep the defense the same. In fairness, I wouldn't play Calafiori against Everton. I would keep the defense the same. I don't think we can. I don't think we're in a position right now really to be going. We're just going to drop. We're just going to put Norgard in, because I think that would also be unfair. I'm a little bit conflicted really about the middle of the park, but I would probably stick with Zubimendi and Rice, and then I would drop Madueke. I would drop Saka, and I would play Madueke.
Okay, so this is the preferred 11. This is my preferred 11, by the way.
Okay, yeah, you do yours.
So as you can see, back 4 pretty much the same. Hincapié. Mm-hmm. Midfield, I would go with. I want Rice in the 6. I don't want Rice in the 8, man. Don't want Rice in the 8. Mm-hmm. I'd be going Miles Lewis-Skelly. For crying out loud, if it lets me do it. So, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Rice, and Havertz in the 10. Oh, for crying out loud, man. And then front 3, I'd probably have Trossard. He needs a good game, man. He's been poor for like the last 5 or 6 games. It's been rubbish. Madueke. And up top, I would go Victor Gyökeres.
Yeah, I would play Havertz in the 10 for sure.
Yeah.
And I would play Madueke on the right. I would and then I would stick with Trossard. However, I'm not opposed to seeing Saka come through the middle again either, but I would definitely start Havertz. I just think I spoke about this on the video I uploaded yesterday. In terms of the way the 10 is being treated because of the low block, the 10 either has to push up and become the second striker, or the 10 has to drop to become a low 6, or to become like a deep line playmaker. And that's what's happening with the 10 because of how dense it is in there for the low block. And so the 10 has had to adapt. And I think that we have looked the most exciting. And I do say that with inverted fingers, right? I do think we've looked the most exciting this season when Havertz has played at the 10. Is it an ideal situation? No. But in terms of what we're seeing right now, I think we've looked the best when he's played there personally. So I would definitely play Havertz in the 10. I just don't know if I would put Lewis Skelly into a game after having. I don't think I would start him. Is what I'm saying. I would play him. I wouldn't start him.
I would definitely start him, man. I mean, this guy was starting. People forget he was starting at the Bernabeu last season, man. Like he deserves some respect, man. He deserves some respect. He's playing out of position as well.
Yeah, that's not why I wouldn't start him though. I wouldn't start him because I don't trust his capabilities or whatever. I just think he's had such minimal game time that I would be concerned about starting him. So I would stick and then rotate. That's what I would do instead. But I do like Rice in the 6.
Yeah. I'm going to catch up some of these comments. Big up Terrell. I've gone 2-1 for Arsenal for tomorrow. Yeah, I think I've gone 3-1. Yeah, I think we'll win tomorrow, man. Hopefully. Big up Chris. Of course, it won't be easy versus Galatasaray, but even Galatasaray fans got confident away from home. They were saying they will regret not scoring more in the first leg. I think they should have won 2-0 anyway. I think that second goal that they had that got disallowed, that was definitely a goal. It was completely onside. Guy was, I think I can't remember the other striker, not Victor Osimhen, but the other striker wasn't interfering with play at all. Big up Boring AFC. We lost the league by losing to Villa at home. Yeah, man, don't even remind me. I hate that, man. I hate that. Big up Chris. I think we win the second leg 2-0 or 3-1. Fair enough. Confident. Big up Roy. I see PSG have had their French league game postponed to give them more rest for their Champions League return leg game against Chelsea. Should the Premier League start doing this for our teams?
I don't
even know why they need rest. They've won their first leg 5-2. What do they need rest for? They can literally play the backup dancers, man. I don't understand why they need rest. It doesn't make sense to me.
It's just something the French league has done for years, Ty. It's not the first time. They do it pretty much every year that a team from the French league goes deep. It's not just a PSG thing. I don't think they'll do it in the Premier League because the Premier League has too much of a fixture congestion. If I remember correctly, I actually think that the League One has made the league smaller, so they play less games. So I think there's even less teams in that division, whereas our division has 20. And then you have the extra cup. We have the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. A lot of the other leagues only have the one. They have their equivalent of the FA Cup. So I think our just fixture congestion is too much.
Agreed. Big up, Chris. City will win 3-1 at West Ham, in my opinion. I just thought West Ham still not great defensively. We scored 5 past them. Fair enough. I mean, I think they've improved since they played you. I think they were open season when they played you, but I definitely think they've improved. I think the fact that they're fighting for their lives, and if they go down, they could literally fold. I mean, I was looking at their wages last night and their financials, and West Ham need the Premier League. Those parachute payments are not going to cut it, bro.
No. Can I also ask you quick, Chris? Do you not think that result flattered you a little bit? I'm not trying to rage you or anything, but when I watched the game or when I watched it back, I did feel like the scoreline flattered Liverpool a little bit in that game. West Ham were much better than the scoreline showed,
Yeah. And look, there's been and this is the thing about the Premier League this season, there's been results and there's been things that happen. Like, obviously, you beat West Ham 5-0, but you also lost to Wolves, you know what I'm saying? Again, no rage bait, but in this season, everybody's capable of beating everyone, man. It's not like it has been over the last 5 or 6 years where certain things were nailed on and there'll be freak results every now and then. Like, anyone can get anyone these days. Big up Gunnar SC. We still have a way to go for the FA Cup. Yeah, we're in the last 8. Southampton away, and then after we beat Southampton, if we beat Southampton, it'll be semi-finals, right? So it'll be last 4.
Yeah. I just meant in terms of the Premier League. Away.
Big up Chris. You should beat Everton, but I feel it's going to be a dull game as Everton are much better defensively now with Brentford back. Yeah, that's annoying. That's really annoying. But I think we still win, man. I still think we win. Okay, so I've got a couple questions for you, actually.
Okay.
I'm going to get your opinion on some of these questions.
Mm-hmm.
So Do you think the reason why we're playing so bad right now is because Martin Odegaard is not on the team?
Yes.
Okay, go on. I yield the floor.
So I do think that I think it's part of the reason that we're playing badly. I think there's a lot of other factors as well. I don't think Odegaard is the only one. I also think that the minutes and lack of rotation don't help, and that's a criticism for the manager. I understand why the manager's doing that, because he's so desperate not to lose, because he knows that this is it, in a way. But for Odegaard, I do think we miss him. I think that he is probably one of our best players on the ball. And I don't just mean creatively, I just mean someone who is able to hold the ball. He rarely loses the ball. He's our best presser when he does push up into that higher 10 that we were talking about earlier. But like I said to you before, he does drop quite well, almost next to the 6, and plays good line breaking passes. And actually, I did the numbers on this yesterday. Zubimendi has the most successful forward line breaking passes in our team. It's not even close. He has 118 forward line breaking completed passes. Rice has 87 and Saliba has 86. Martin Odegaard is not far off them, and he's played half the season. Like, he's played less than half the season, right? Really, we've missed him so much in that respect. He's played so little football. So in terms of those line breaking passes, I do think we miss him. And I think that when he does come back into the team, you started to see it a little bit against Tottenham, where he was finding Gyökeres better. And Gyökeres obviously scored from his assist, where Gyökeres came and cutting and scored and put it past the keeper on the keeper's left. So I do think we miss him there, and I do think we're going to need him for the run-in to run-in for the Premier League. I do think he suffered from the low block, but I also think that he started to find a solution for that. He is our leader. He is our leader. I know he's not a vocal leader. He's not the kind of leader that we would have been looking at in the 90s, where we were like, for me, I was idolizing Tony Adams. Tony Adams was my man. Like, even now, he's my favorite Arsenal player I've ever watched and loved. But you had Tony Adams. Then after Tony Adams, you had Patrick Vieira, and then you had Thierry Henry, and then later on, you even had like Granit Xhaka, who were these kind of imposing masculine figures, right? He's different to that, and I know he's different to that.
Yeah.
But players are different. Players are different as well, so they respond differently. We how many times do we see about players and their egos and whatever, and you have to nurture their egos. I'm not for it. Grow up. But he was unanimously re-voted as captain after the Tony Adams comments. That they looked to him. And so,
to be honest, I'm sorry, I got to pause you there. To be honest, that's for me, that's fluff, bro. I don't care about stuff like that, because realistically, they're not going to be like, oh, do you know what? Tony Adams has said this. Someone else needs to be the captain. They're obviously going to bro. The way Arteta, I believe Arteta has got these guys. They're not gonna. And even if they did vote against him, Arteta's not going to come out and say that anyway. Because what would that do? How would that look anyway? Like, I think that's just PR talk, to be honest.
Well, I mean, it would probably end his. I mean, I don't disagree that it would probably end his career at Arsenal if he loses the captaincy. He loses his place at the club, right? So I don't disagree with you there. But I just think that. Have you seen the documentary at all?
No, I still haven't watched it yet, to be honest.
It's worth a watch. I
need to watch that.
It's worth a watch, but you can see that he's well respected, is what I would say, without kind of doing the fluff stuff. Then I do think that you can see he is well respected by the players, and I think they would benefit from having him on the pitch, because they're the player. He's the player they give the ball to.
Yeah.
In that respect, for them as the players, regardless of how we feel about him as fans, for them on the pitch, they trust him the most on the pitch. He is the most trusted player on the pitch with the ball.
Okay.
And I think that would do well for Arsenal, because it would free other players up.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to tuck into my answer. My answer actually changed as you were speaking, and as I was really thinking about it. It's a bit of a yes and no. It's a bit of a fancy answer, but I do think Martin Odegaard offers something in terms of control. I think sometimes we have been a bit skittish in the last couple of games. In terms of like attacking, I don't really think he offers much, but I would like him to be back in the squad. But I don't want him shoehorned into the squad. Like, there's certain games where I feel like he shouldn't be starting, or he should come off the bench, or he should come on certain game states. Like, for example, Everton away, Odegaard should not even be on the. He should stay at home and put his feet up, because big physical away games against low opposition, Odegaard.
We're home, I think.
No, we're at home. I'm just saying. Like, I was just using the as an example. At home against a big physical opposition side, then it's a catch-22. But I think in terms of control, we've been a bit lackluster. I think there's sometimes games have gotten away from us, even if we have won them. We've just lacked that bite, that kind of like slowing down the game, that kind of passing just in between each other and stuff like that, and building up like triangles and things like that. I also feel like Ben White's been missing as well from that kind of trio equation. Him, Ben White, Saka. Him, Ben White, Saka. I think those triangles, we've missed those a lot. But at the same time, I think Arteta needs to get the best out of him, because there was something interesting that was said. He was asked, one of those commentator people, what do you call it, those press conference people, asked him, why does Odegaard drop so deep and collect the ball instead of staying high up in the 10? And Arteta just said he doesn't tell him to do that. So I find that so strange, though. So why does he do that? Because he never used to do that. So why does he do that? I don't really understand, like, what is going through Odegaard's head. Personally, I think he's doing this because he's scared to get injured and he wants to be in the World Cup this year, and he doesn't want to. He was putting up challenges. He doesn't want to be in the fray of things. That's my personal opinion. I don't know how you feel about that, but I feel like there's a subconscious thing where this is the first time Norway have qualified for the World Cup since he's been born. So
I mean, I don't.
He's obviously the captain as well.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a subconscious thing for the World Cup. It might well be, but I also think that this guy has spent so much of the last 18 months injured. There's going to be a little bit of PTSD there, because, like you said, the Premier League is tough. It's physical. And to begin with, his first couple of seasons, he coped with it quite well. The irony is, all of this started with the international break. He got injured on the international break, and now it's just been this recurring thing ever since. And it was the ankle, then it was the knee, then it was this. And I just think that I think there's probably a little bit more of a PTSD thing there, rather than just it's a World Cup thing. But they're the same reason. He just doesn't want to get injured.
Yeah, no, I agree. All right, cool. Next topic. So, transfers. Who do you think needs to be sold, and who do you think needs to be bought in the summer? Regardless of, I'm going to do two. One if we're successful in the Premier League, and one if we win nothing. Who do you think needs to go in? Who do you think needs to come out?
Okay, right. All right. I think we might have to have some uncomfortable conversations as fans. So I think that there is. I do think there is that. I think that Trossard and Martinelli go without saying. And I think that's one of the things that actually unites the fan base at the moment is Trossard and Martinelli going. And we've had conversations about this tie. For me, the ideal would be Kavar for PSG, 100%. But the thing is but we have to temper this. We have to temper this because, and this is why we have to have uncomfortable conversations, right? Kavar is 25. He's going to cost like whatever they want, 100 million. Let's just say 100 million, right? Because he might as well be, because that's how valuable he is to us.
And he's on 350 a week, by the way.
Right. But that's how valuable he is to us, because we need that profile. He is the best of the profile that is currently out there. You can talk about whether you think he's world class or not. But he is the best of what's available, or what could be available.
Yeah.
Right. 100 million, 350,000 pounds a week. Right.
Yeah.
Arsenal have just spent X amount, so much money in the previous window. That means Arsenal are going to have to sell. They're not going to get 100 million for Trossard and Martinelli. They might get 60 if they sell a kidney, right?
Yeah.
So there's that. Then you have to look at Ben White. But if you do sell Ben White, you've got to replace Ben White. I've seen the rumours about Livramento. Don't hate it. But he's different. He's a different profile to Timber, because he does actually, I think he's a bit more attack-minded than Timber.
Yeah. If we do sell Ben White, I'd be looking at. I'll tell you after. Anyway.
Yeah. And I think I remember who you mentioned before. But then you have to look at selling Ben White to try even get you close to that. So now you've sold 3 players to try and buy one, and you haven't even bought in a backup left midfielder yet. We spoke about Somerville. I like Somerville. I'd quite like to see him at the club. I think he's a good left winger option, and he's a bit of a different profile to Kavar as well. So you've got 2 different kind of left wingers coming in. I don't hate Yildiz, but he's quite young, and he'd have to come in and start every game. So there's that. So that's the left wing. Then you need to look at up front. Jesus has got to go.
Yeah,
he's got to go at the end of the season.
Facts.
Love him. I'm grateful to him for what he did for the early couple of the first couple of years he was there, because he helped raise the profile and made Arsenal look attractive again as a club. And I really do, and I'm grateful to him for that, because without him that doesn't necessarily happen.
Facts.
So there is that. If Gyökeres does not get over 20 goals this year, we should sell him. and I know that sounds like such a crazy thing to say, but unfortunately the club aren't adapting to his style. Right. And I quite like Gyökeres. I haven't got a problem with Gyökeres. I think he's an honest professional. I think he backs himself. Arsenal are not playing to his strengths. If you are not going to play to his strengths, you've got to move him on. Ideal replacement, again, £100 million player, Alvarez. So now you've got two £100 million players that you want to bring in. And this is why I'm saying this stuff, right? I'm saying this because I'm tempering it with we need to be realistic here. Do you know what I'm saying? We need to actually be realistic, because if we sell Trossard and Martinelli to bring in Cavani, we ain't buying a new soft forward next season. We ain't. It's not happening. So this is why I'm kind of just throwing these players out. If Gyökeres doesn't get over 20, we should look to move him on. But then, do you keep one of Trossard and Martinelli? That's the conundrum, right? And then you look in the middle of the field. I think Mourinho is untouchable for at least another year.
I agree. I think he's my opinion. Sorry to interrupt you. In my opinion, I think he's the perfect squad player. I think he's the perfect squad player.
Do a bit of everything.
Do a bit of everything, and he's, to be honest, he's probably better than he's probably better than Jesus in the striker role as well. So.
And who else? And he's been more successful than Gyökeres as well.
Yeah.
But he's a different profile of player. So it's not Gyökeres' fault that he is just a 9. He is a 9. He's not anything else. He's a give me the ball striker. That is it. One touch striker. Then you need to look at Eze has not had the season that he needed to have. I'm not saying I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he's not had a good enough season. That's all. He's not been good enough. Okay. Saka, I'm giving a pass to, because it is Saka. I don't think he deserves to be he doesn't deserve to be sold. I don't think he does. I'm
not saying anything until it's my turn. But yeah.
Okay. It takes that kind of injury, muscle off the bone, isn't just a surgery and then 6 months rehabilitation. That can take up to 18 months. I don't think we're going to see the best of him for another 6 months at least. And I think he deserves credence and he deserves patience. Zubimendi and Declan Rice are fine. Norgard is if a good offer comes in, that's fine, because then you can get your wish with Miles Lewis-Skelly. The other thing I wanted to throw at you, though, this one might trigger you a little bit, but it's not with the intent to. You know, when Chelsea were behaving like a big boy club, and how Man City behaved like a big boy club, right? Mm-hmm. What did they do? They sold the players that they didn't think were good enough, right? Mm-hmm. And I do think that as Arsenal fans, we need. What's that? I'm being ruthless. This is the only time you're going to see me being ruthless, my friend. When you're behaving like a big boy club, you have to make big boy sacrifices, right? Man City sold Palmer. Mm-hmm. Look at how many youth players Chelsea have sold over the years. Look how, and Arsenal fans romanticize about Hale End. I do. I love Emil Smith-Rowe. The Saka and Emil Smith-Rowe song was one of my favourites.
Oh, yeah. But and Emil Smith-Rowe is from Croydon as well. We used to call him Croydon the Groiner.
Exactly. And what did we do?
Sold him.
Sold him a year too late. What did we do with Nketiah? We sold him a year too late. And I'm not saying that we should sell Miles Lewis-Skelly, and I am not saying that we should sell Nunez. That is not what I'm saying. However, right? My only thing I would say is, if we hold them for a year too long and they don't cut it or they don't make it, we diminish their value. Yeah. And that is the type of big boy move that Man City and Chelsea would not make. And and we had a chat about being a serious club yesterday, because you were talking about the owners not being serious, right? Remember that, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying that we will be criticised in a year's time for not being serious if they don't make it, because we could have sold them when they were worth 40 and we'll end up selling them for 25.
Yeah. Do you know what player comes to mind of not doing that? Miles Lewis-Skelly, Ainsley Maitland-Niles. When Wolves wanted him for 25 million and we ended up selling him for 7 million to Lyon, I was bro. It's like, why and then he was like, oh, I want to keep him, and then he didn't even play him, and then he ended up losing more than 3/4 of his value.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I'm going to get to some of these comments and I'm going to tuck into my side, yeah?
Yeah, do it.
Big up, Chris. I know I agree with 5-2 flattered us. I agree. I was more shocked by Nuno's defense being so open. I was shocked we scored 5 passing, to be honest. Fair enough. Get the likes up, people. Sub to both of these guys. Yeah, link in the description, guys. Make sure you subscribe to my friend Boring. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you get him to 50 subscribers so we can start live streaming people.
That'd be lovely.
Big up, Roy. Now the playoff positions are being extended to 8th place. No, I thought it was the 6th place. I swear it was the 6th place now. Or...
No, it's the 6 positions.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Should the Premier League have a relegation playoff match in the 7th? That would be, bro. You actually do come up with some pretty border ideas. I'm not gonna lie. That'd actually be prime entertainment, having like a relegation playoff. That would be amazing. Imagine Spurs losing in the dying minutes to West Ham for the relegation playoffs, man. Yeah, that'd be quality. Big up, Roy. We have limited resources at Arsenal. We are not backed by oil-rich nation states. We have to buy within our means, and the cost of our stadium capacity increase. We break base structures at up, bro. I'm sorry, we're not poor, bro. Our owners are billionaires. Our owner owns Asda. He owns Walmart and Asda, bro. Like, our owner is rich. Our owner is rich. Come on, man. Well, I do think he owns the Denver Nuggets. He's got the SoFi State. Every time he sneezes, money comes out of his nostrils. You know what I'm saying?
I also think that he has been part of a real good infrastructure rebuild at Arsenal. I do think that there has been some real effort into a decent infrastructure. When we were speaking about it, I think Liverpool structurally, financially, are the best run club in the country. Arsenal are second, and they weren't even in the conversation 3 years ago. So Arsenal are really pushing to be that next or the big club in the UK. And what I quite like about it is the Cronkies aren't just eyeing Liverpool. They're not doing that. They're eyeing Madrid. So even if they go halfway to what they're trying to achieve, they're going to be so much better off than they were.
Exactly. Big up, Chris. You should give Gyökeres one more season, in my opinion. I always give signings 2 seasons max, but you make a good point. If Arteta's not going to play to his strength, then might as well sell. And this is what I'm saying. If for example, if we brought in an attacking manager and then Gyökeres went and got like 20 Premier League goals, I just want to see attacking football because I want to see what this guy can do. I don't think he's the best, but I think you can. There's something in there. Like, for example, I used to play fighting games a lot. Yeah, I was a big Guile player when I used to play Street Fighter. To someone else, Guile might be a terrible character, but to me, you should have seen some of the things I was doing to people, man. Like, under the right tutelage, under the right manager, I think you can get a lot more from Gyökeres, man. Big up, Roy. Damn boring AFC has been ruthless with our squad. Big up, Roy again. Time to order our big boy pants. So with me, this is who's on the chopping block. Number 1, let's start with the low knees. Reece Nelson, see you later. I don't know what's going on at Brentford. I've not even seen him play or be on the bench. Terminate if you can't sell him, terminate the contract. See you later. On 100,000 a week, give me a freaking break. Fabio Vieira is actually having a good time at Hamburg. They're actually looking to buy him, so I think we've quoted 20 million euros. See you later. Zinchenko's gone. We sold him for fucking 1 million. 1 million. That's not even a month of Saka's wages, by the way. It's fucking pathetic, man. This club is so bad at selling players. Who else? Trossard, Martinelli, Hasta la vista, mate. Go to Saudi, go get your big bag. Let's try and get 80 million for the both of you if we sell him to Saudi. Who else will I be looking to sell? Ben White. You're too good to be a rotation player at this club. I'm a big fan of you, but obviously I'm sure you want first team football. So let's see if we can drop a bag on you. And my replacement for Ben White would be Coyote from Brentford.
Knew you were going to say. I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah. Those long throws and that African strength, man. We that pounded jam strength. We need that, man. We need it. Trust me. I'm telling you.
You say pounded jam.
Pounded jam strength. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Who else would I be selling? I'll be selling Calafiori. For me,
that's not it
for me. I think for me, he's had 11 separate injuries since he's been in the club. I'm hearing Chelsea are interested. Vamonos, mate. Vamonos.
He's a bit like Tomiyasu, isn't he? Unfortunately, he's a wonderful player when he's fit, but he's just Tomiyasu, and it's so frustrating. I don't want to see him go because I think he's perfect rotation for Hincapié, and it also means that you can make the argument for Miles Lewis-Skelly not being in defence. But It's just, you can't just keep getting injured. In the end, it had to be, we had to get rid of oh god, his name's gone out of my head now, Tomiyasu. And that was painful because you could see that he loved being there and he was liked around the club and he worked hard. But we can't, I think one of the things that Arteta said when he first signed as manager was about ruthless aggression. Well, you need to be that with your players too.
Yeah, exactly. Next, I'd be selling Norgard as well. I mean, he doesn't, obviously, Arteta doesn't trust him. I actually like Norgard, actually. I think he actually has a little bit to offer, but I don't think he's the levels of which I want my backup centre mid or backup six to be. He's not levels. I would actually try I'd actually promote Ibrahim Ife. Guy's like 18, he's already 6'4". He's just an absolute monster, mate. He's an absolute monster. That's the type of player that I want to be promoted as first team. I want some of these youngsters to be promoted to the first team now. Some of the Arteta always talks about internal solutions. Use the internal solutions. Controversial one. I'll be selling that damn captain. I'm selling that Beyblade. I'm selling that Dragoon, mate. I'm selling him, mate.
How you feel about him?
I'm selling him, mate. I'm selling him. And you know who I'm replacing him with? I'm replacing him with Mendoza. A proper 10, man. A proper 10. And he's only going to cost 20 million. 20 million as well. So we bought Odegaard for 30, sell him for 60, get this new kid in for 20 million euros.
By the way, I'm not opposed to that. I'm not an Odegaard defense league here. What I mean, all I mean is that if the right amount came in for Odegaard, they would sell him. Yeah. But it would have to be the right amount. I just mean for running, I do think we're going to need him. I do think we're going to need him.
I agree. And controversially, and I'm going to probably get attacked by this by a lot of the Gooners, but I'd actually keep Havertz, man. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'd keep Havertz. But he should not be on 280 a week. That's way too much money for someone that's that broken. And to be honest, if Havertz gets another injury from now to the end of the season, he's going in the bin Laden as well, mate. He's going in the bin Laden for me because he's another player that's getting to becoming too injury prone as well. He's another player, and all the players I've mentioned, if Berta does his job properly, that should raise close to 200 million, if not more, in my opinion.
Listen, mate, if any player can step up off the bench and take a penalty against his homegrown club.
Oh, bro, you are capping for this guy so much, bro. You love capping for this guy. You love capping for this guy.
Man. Leave my guy alone.
Bro, man, part of the Havertz Defense League, man. For crying
I am. I'm the founder. Don't worry.
Yeah, and in terms of incomings, realistic as well. Mendoza in the midfield, Coyote at right back. I don't think I'd bring in another left back, to be honest. I'd promote somebody from the youth team, to be honest, and just have Hincapié as the main left back and promote someone as the backup left back from the youth team. I don't know if anyone knows in the comments who's a youth left back, who's our youth left back right now. Let me know.
I just think we have to be careful there. Arsenal at this point, let's just say we still have the expectation that we want Arsenal to run deep in every competition. Hincapié can't play. We've already played more games this season than we have ever, I think, right? So we can't just have a youth team person, right? I think it would have to be someone with substance. And I agree with you. I don't want it to be Miles Lewis-Skelly. I want it to be a left back, right? So I'm not opposed to bringing in a youth team player as a left back, but I also think we need to bring in cover, right? And I know exactly what you're going to do. But Andrew Robertson is free. He is free.
No.
Business.
No.
It's smart business.
No.
It's smart business. It's smart business.
It's
smart business.
No.
He's never going to play.
He's only going to play. No,
he's going to play in the Carabao Cup. He's going to play in the Carabao Cup.
I would rather us go and buy. I'd rather us go get Tierney back, mate. I'd rather us go get Tierney back than flipping Robertson. I'm sorry. I don't want these other people's trash, man. I don't want their trash, man. And if not, go get some random from flipping Valencia or flipping, you know what I'm saying, or France or something. Go get someone for 8 million. I don't care. Get a backup for 8 million or 5 million or something.
What happens if he can't cut it? Look at Tavares.
I don't know, man. I don't have all the answers. Okay, I don't have all the answers.
Okay, that's fair.
And then now we get to the forward line, the part I've been waiting for the most.
Okay.
The forward I'd be looking to get Somerville, Kvaratskhelia, and obviously Alvarez. For me, that's the ideal summer. That's the ideal summer for me. That's the ideal summer. Yeah, that's the ideal summer, man. That's the ideal summer. And obviously promoting Nwaneri and Dalman and getting them more involved in the first team as well. So you've got right hand and central cover as well. And I think, obviously, and I also think Nwaneri could probably do a job off the left as well, to be honest, as a third like spare wheel or whatever. And that would probably be my ins and outs. And that should balance the books, to be honest. That should balance the books.
I think Arsenal are going to make a lot of prize money. Even if they don't win anything from this point, the prize money they're going to make is already quite substantial.
Yeah,
so,
they would win 100 million just for finishing top of the group.
I know, it's mad, isn't it?
It's crazy.
So yeah. I think we'll be okay. I do think that we are. I do think there might be a surprise sell or two. I really do, because I just think that they're going to think, right, where can we make the money? Because this is what I mean about you want to bring in Kavar, Somerville, and Alvarez, right? You're going to have to sell. Like, we're going to have to sell someone we love potentially as well. So,
I'm happy to sell Havertz if it means that I get my exact window. I'm happy to.
I wasn't talking about him, bro.
I was.
I know.
Going to read some of these comments. Big up, Chris. Coyote's perfect for Arteta, long throws and strength. Yeah, exactly. Pounded yam and long arms, mate. It's exactly what he needs, man. Big up, Blade. Yes, boys. Big up to you, Blade, man. Hope you're doing well. Make sure them like button, people. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and make sure you subscribe to Boring. Link in the description. Link in the title. Big up, Roy. Gyökeres has scored 15 goals so far this season. He gets at least 20 goals this season, which will improve next season. As for getting rid of a certain squad players, their experience is priceless. That's quite interesting. When you say squad players, which squad players are you talking about? Big up, Roy, again. The pressure on Arteta to win major trophies this season is immense. I'm sure he's aware of that, which may be the main reason why he has set the team up to play more cautiously this season. But let me tell you something here. I'll tell you guys. I'll give you guys some dark side chronicles. At one point in my life, I played poker for a living. Yeah, and let me tell you something. Scared money don't make money, bro. Being scared don't make money, man. Like, you can't just play you can't cautiously win a Premier League. You have to take risks. That's why when I said today, I'd start Skelly. Start Skelly, man. Start Skelly, man. Start Skelly, bro. Big up, Roy. We cannot blame the players for being on such huge wages when they are offered these mega contracts by the club themselves. Nelson being 100k a week is insane, but who would say no to that? You're damn right. I haven't played football in years. I'm telling you right now, if Arsenal offered me 400 bags a week, I'm not turning that shit down, bro. That's generational wealth.
Mate, I'd take 10 grand a week. You offered me 10
exactly,
grand,
bro.
I'll take it.
I'll take 5 grand a week. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Big up to you, Roy. You're talking sense though. You're talking sense. Big up, Chris. I'm shocked that no one has gone in for Robinson from Fulham. I feel he's been the best left back. Yeah, he's good, man. He's actually really good.
Who's the midfielder at Everton that's having a blinder as well? Is it he's doing it bits on the FPL league. Is it Anderson? Is that his name? Elliot? No, Harvey. Oh, I'll have to have a look.
He plays for Nottingham Forest. Elliot Anderson.
No, I know. I've got the wrong guy. I'm thinking of Anyway, they've got a couple of tidy little players at Fulham.
Yeah, they got this young kid called he's got this sorry, not young kid, he's got this guy called Smith Rowe. You should probably take a look at him actually. Big up, Chris. It's first stay up, then Robertson will go there. I think Robertson will stay in the Premier League and go to a club that's below the big clubs. Yeah, if they do stay up, I can see him going to Spurs, to be honest.
Can I jump on that real quick? I put like a one of those like rage bait YouTube shorts up before I came on. If and when Spurs go down, who replaces them in the big six? Like, who's going to replace them?
Not for me. Spurs aren't in the big six anyway.
No. But there is the we have the of the big six.
Newcastle will replace them, no? Newcastle will replace them.
Villa are up there.
I think Newcastle will replace them.
What, because of the financial monies?
No, not just because of the financial monies, but because they've won a trophy in the last 5 years. Aston Villa, I don't think I've seen. When's the last time Aston Villa won a trophy?
The
80s?
When they signed Unai Emery? I don't know. Like, that trophy was Unai. Newcastle or Villa, in my opinion. Yeah, I'd say I'd lean towards Newcastle. I think obviously Villa have more heritage because they got Champions Leagues and stuff. But I think it's just for the recency bias, I'd probably go Newcastle. Yeah. The person you were talking about apparently is Josh King.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Is that who you were talking about?
That seems to ring a little bit. I think that might ring true. Yeah, that sounds better.
Yeah. Big up, Chris. Spurs invited to the Super League was a piss take. Yeah, I mean, Spurs don't even have a Premier League title. Like, I don't get it, bro. I don't get it. To be fair, Spurs have like 7 Europa Leagues though, or 6 Europa Leagues, which is kind of crazy. But even still, they're still just overrated. All right, got a couple more before we wrap up.
Okay.
Want to talk about the Carabao Cup final? Yep. I'll ask you a couple of questions. If we lose the Carabao Cup final, do we win the Premier League?
Yes, I still think we can win the Premier League if we lose the Carabao Cup final. Wow. I've said to you before, I do. I really do. I think there might be a gap before we even get there. Because don't forget, they might slip up against West Ham, and people are quite confident of that. People are talking about it more than I am. Like I still think that West Ham might get a draw, but I wouldn't be surprised if Man City beat them. I've been quite consistent on with the Carabao Cup. I can take or leave the Carabao Cup. The Carabao Cup only means something to me if it is coupled with the Premier League, right? And I know that sounds like really kind of like, I don't know, defeatist or something like that, because it's still a trophy and we still had to pay our dues to get there. I completely accept that. The main thing is it's going to be a momentum builder. You know, both teams are going to be looking at this as this is going to project us to the Premier League title.
Yeah.
I do think Arsenal will win it. I think Arsenal are going to do it. I think Arsenal will do a double. I don't know if they'll win I don't think they'll do the FA Cup, and I would love to see them do the Champions League. All right. I think it's slightly higher than a 0% chance though, right?
It's not. But
I do think we'll do a domestic double though.
Do you know why there's a 0% chance to win the Champions League?
Why?
That's why.
Oh, get that off. I'm interested in that, man. Get it off. Idiot. No, I think it's a fantastic momentum builder, and I do think we will win it. I think the team will be as we expect, bar 2 changes. So I think it would be Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, and Hincapié. I think it would be Zubimendi and Rice with Odegaard in the 10, Saka, Havertz, Trossard. That's the team that I think will start that game, and I think it's the team that will win the Carabao Cup. I think that Arteta has always been quite consistent on who his starters and who his finishers are. And I think I wouldn't be surprised if he starts with Trossard, Martinelli finishes the game and scores the goal. That is genuinely what I could see happening.
Fair enough.
But, you know, it's one of them, isn't it? What do you think with the Carabao Cup?
I think if we don't win the Carabao Cup final, I don't think we win the league, personally.
Okay.
Or if we win the Carabao Cup, we win the league early. If we don't win the Carabao Cup, it will probably go down to the final game of the season. And the reason why I say that is because if we win the Carabao Cup against City, I'm saying, and I'm gonna look at the camera and say this: if we win the Carabao Cup against City, we go to the Etihad and we put that board forward in the pack. There you go. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. And I can even hear the post-match reaction if we do beat them in the Carabao Cup and at you know, Arsenal, they're too strong. You know, they were difficult, more than you believe. I can see it already. If we beat them in both games, man. I'm telling you, it's imperative. It is vital that we beat them in the Carabao Cup and we beat them at the Etihad. I'm telling you, because if we beat them at the Etihad, and I'm predicting that they drop points against West Ham, we'll be like 12 points clear with like what, 4 games left or 5 games left. That means we can bottle like 3 games and still win the league after that. That's why it's so important we beat them at the Etihad. I don't want to see Arteta go for the draw. I want to see him be brave and go for that 22-23 style at the Etihad, man. I want him to beat that bald fraud in his own back garden, man. Mm-hmm. Sorry, ran over, but yeah, I think it's so important we win the Carabao Cup. And look, if we win the Carabao Cup early this season, for me, the manager still needs to be sacked. But I'll still be happy that I got to see my captain's armpits at the end of the season. I've never seen the League Cup, bro. I've never seen it. Yeah. We haven't won it in 33 years. I've never seen it.
Yeah, right. Sorry, mate. Leave it out. All right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think it's imperative that we win that Carabao Cup for me. I don't see anything less than that anything less than the league, Premier League, is failure, personally. Yeah, I'm going to read a couple of comments and I'm going to get to my last couple of points and then we'll wrap up. Yeah.
Yep.
Big up, Chris. Even if you lose the cup final, if City lift that cup, the Arsenal players should stay back to watch and tell them, does it hurt? We did it. Community Shield 2019 versus City. Then we will walk the league. What do you mean? Wait, hold on. Let me read this again. Even if you lose the cup final.
He's saying that we should watch it and bask in the pain of it so that we can use it to as fire for the Premier League.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought so. I kind of got confused at the end. Big up, Chris. If Arsenal don't win the cup, then media pressure will start. I even think if you win it, players will still can't get carried away and should give them the urge to get the league done. No, I don't think they'll get carried away, but it gives them a winning mentality. It means that this squad has won something together. It gives a winning mentality. Like, you look. Havertz has won the Champions League with Chelsea. Gyökeres has won the league with Sporting. Trying to think who's come in. Eze won the FA Cup last year with Palace.
Rice has a European trophy.
Rice has a European trophy. So Odegaard's played with Cristiano Ronaldo. So everybody's won trophies separately, right? But we need to win one. We need to win one together because it creates a winning mentality. Okay, so second to last one. What are your thoughts on the manager? Are you Arteta in? Are you Arteta out? What do you style of play? And what are your expectations for the manager this season?
I am Arteta in with review at the end of the season.
Okay.
I think. Because I just don't see. I like I said before. I don't really see the point in putting energy into that personally until we've seen the results of this. This should be a culmination of his project. This should be it. This is it. Right, he's got the squad that he wanted, bar maybe Gyökeres, because I think it's quite clear that he wanted Šeško. But bar that, he's pretty much got everything that he's wanted. And Berta worked his arse off in the September transfer window for him, or the August transfer window. So I do think this is the accumulation of his project. This is the end. And so if he doesn't do anything, I think it's right that questions are asked. And I also think it depends on if we don't win anything, I think it depends on how as well. I think how will be important. Like there's no shame in losing a Champions League final, or there's no shame in losing a final. I think finals, only one team can walk away that day.
Yeah, it's true.
I do think he will deserve something if we don't win the league, because I think we should be winning the league. I think we should win the league. I can take a loss in a final. It will hurt, but I can understand losing a final. When you get to a final, you are playing the best team or the other best team. You're playing Man City. If somehow they get to the final of the Champions League, they're probably going to be playing Bayern Munich or PSG, right? They are the best teams in Europe. So you can kind of swallow that. But the Premier League, I think Arsenal should win it. And if he doesn't, I think it's right that questions should be asked and reviews should be had. I think that's about as fair as I can be. What about you? You're out though, aren't you? So
no, for me, I've been Arteta out since the end of 22-23. I've tried to be positive. Actually, hold on, guys. Hold on. Let me show you something. Let me show you something, which is why I don't like the majority of our fan base and why Arsenal fans are fucking mutants, by the way. A lot of Arsenal fans, not all Arsenal fans, obviously. So I put this up on my community post last night, and I said my caption was, but people say I'm being negative and say, just back the team, LOL. And a picture I put up with, it was Thierry Henry saying, listen, I love Arsenal, but I have to be honest. If the plan every week for Mikel Arteta's Arsenal is to win a corner and pray, then we have a problem. When I played, we attacked teams. Now I have to watch it and it looks like everyone is waiting for the next set piece. You cannot have this much talent and play like a Tony Pulis Stoke City. I'm not sure if Thierry Henry actually said that, but that's what the caption was. But let's just say, for example, he did. Somebody replied to that community post and said, it's 8 games left. You can be critical, but just back the team. Ain't nothing changing with 2 months left. Just be a supporter. That's all we can do. And that is the fucking problem with the vast majority of Arsenal fans. You just accept everything. You just accept everything. And I'm not being funny. Saying that we can't do anything because we're fans is absolutely not true. You, me, everybody in this chat, and anybody that may watch this, and every person who's worn the Arsenal shirt, who goes to the games, who loves the club, we are the life and blood of this fucking club, mate. There is no Arsenal FC without the fans. We pay the wages. We are the ones that turn up, go up and down the country. We are the one that tune in, week out, regardless of whether they disappoint us or not. We are the ones that uphold this club. We are the lifeblood and soul. If the fans are the lifeblood and soul of any football club on this planet. So when you're telling me I can't do anything or I should just accept it, fuck off, man. That's number one. And number two, again, I am Arteta out. I'm not a big fan of him. I don't think he's good enough. Even if he does win the Premier League this year, even if he wins a cup double, he has proven to me time and time again, I don't think he has the cojones, the mentality, the tactics, the bravery to dominate Europe, to dominate the Premier League, and to season in, season out, pick up domestic trophies or pick up the Premier League or get to Champions League finals and finally get a star above that badge that we Arsenal fans deserve. I just don't think he's the man. He spent, like I say it all the time, he spent £1 billion and the last 5 years, half a decade trophyless. It's just not good enough. You can't do that at any other elite team. Do you know why? Because they have expectations to win the big trophies season in, season out. And that's why, for me, even if he does win it, thank you very much, Mikel, but goodbye. I'll be like, what's that woman's name? Anne from The Weakest Link. Thank you. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. That's what I would say. And that's my rant over, mate.
I actually asked you about something, and I'm probably going to send you into another rant, right? But can you quantify what you mean by fraud, right? Because you've called him a fraud a couple of times,
yeah,
and you've never really, like, I know what fraud means, obviously, but like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean when you say Arteta's a fraud? Because I think he's a lot of things, but I'm not sure if he's a fraud. And
I don't. So when I call him a fraud, I mean it kind of like in jest, like kind of like you fucking fraud. I don't actually mean he's actually fraud, but what I mean in the sense of in a serious way is that a lot of Arsenal fans, I mean, let me use some Bible bars here. They exalt him to a level that I don't think he is. Like, for example, I don't really want to call out this YouTuber because I do like his content, but he's way too much of a top gooner. But I'm going to just say his name. I'm going to say his channel name. But Alex, yeah, he said that Arteta is a generational manager. He's been here 6 years and has not won a title. You cannot be generational and you've not won a title, Champions League, or even a domestic double. How can you look at this manager and say he's generational? It just doesn't make sense. And these people have hundreds of thousands of followers, by the way. And I'm just sick of these happy clapper Arteta fans and these happy clapper YouTubers that keep selling Arsenal fans cope, because Arsenal fans are desperate for trophies. They were desperate to not have Chelsea fans, Man United fans banter us. So having these uncomfortable conversations, having these critiques is important. You can't just be, what I like to say, toxic positivity. So it's not him that's necessarily fraudulent. It's this fan base that I'm pushing him to be something he's not. It's like, you're pissing on my head and telling me it's rain, mate. I'm sorry. I'm not believing it. I'm not believing it. Not you per se, Boring, but I'm saying these toxic positivity fans are trying to tell me that Arteta is something he's not. You don't spend £1 billion and go 5 years about a trophy. And then when I call it out, they say, oh, but Chelsea have spent 2 billion. Oh, what about Man United? But you can't hold Man United to a higher standard, but then banter it at the same time. Which one is it? Which one is it? Is it Man United and Chelsea are banter clubs, even though they spent money, or Arteta has spent similar amounts of money to them, but he's not good enough? Which one is it? Which one is it? These two things are not mutually exclusive. These cannot both exist in a vacuum. They can't both exist at the same time. Is Arteta not good enough, or are Chelsea and thingy banter clubs that they spent too much money? Which one is it? Like, it's annoying, bro. Because anytime you critique, their excuse is always to look at other clubs. Oh, but what about Spurs? Fuck Spurs. What about Chelsea? Fuck Chelsea. What about Man United? Fuck Man United. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I do. This is why I asked you it, because I don't think he's a fraud, and I know there's a comment in there waiting for me as well. But I can see it. Like, I can see it. So because I don't think he's a fraud, and I don't think he's behaved like a fraud, and I think that I do think that he has helped elevate us in terms of where we were. However, if he doesn't do what he needs to do by the end of this season, in my opinion, he would have failed. But that doesn't make him a fraud. I just think that would make him a failure. And I think it would make him a noble failure. Like, I think he's done it. He's tried to be noble in the way that he's tried to.
No, sorry, I got to pause you. Sorry, I got to pause you right there. Not having that. This guy is such an arrogant fucking twat as well. If he was like, do you know what? If he was like Ruben Amorim, where he was like, look, the club didn't do this, The club didn't do that. He was honest and said, look, I don't think I can do this, blah, 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 blah. You know what? The only time Arteta has been honest and I've rated him is at the end of 22-23, and he said, I'm not sure if I'm good enough to do this. This might be too big for me. That's the only time I've rated him. Since then, he's been an arrogant Lego head terrorist twat, mate. But carry on.
But he's tried to improve the club. We can agree with that, right?
He's tried to improve it, but let's not.
So my point is then that for all of his efforts, he would have failed. But I don't think that makes him a fraud. That was all I was trying to get at.
Fair enough.
Because I've heard you say it a couple of times, and I've heard other people call him it as well when I've listened to streams. And I'm like, but what do they mean? What does it mean to be a fraud? So now I kind of understand where you're coming from. You're talking about the fan base elevating.
It's not really Arteta himself. It's the top gooners elevating to a status that he doesn't deserve. How can you look at me in my black face and tell me that he's generational? Based on fucking what, bro? Based on what? He's got less trophies than Eric Ten Baldy, mate. Eric Ten Baldy, one of Man United's worst managers I've seen in my lifetime, and he's got double the amount of trophies as this. Bro, I didn't want to crash out today.
I'm in here like do you know what? I made notes on paper of things I could say to you that I knew would roll you up, mate. I have succeeded today.
I didn't want to crash out, fam. I didn't want to. This was not supposed to be a crash out stream.
You gave me such a nice welcome. He's not a top gooner, he's a mid gooner, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I'm going to crash this guy out today.
Let me try to put some of these comments, bro. Big up, Chris. If Arteta doesn't win anything, he should be gone. Absolutely. 6 years, no trophies is unacceptable, especially with the amount of back-end time and resources he's been given. I've heard some of the other YouTubers say that we need to have a conversation. P45, P60, piss off. Big up Gunnar SC. Sorry, boring. It's just wishful thinking.
I don't know which bit they're referring to now.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm
sorry.
Big up Chris. I think Arteta will be judged on Premier League in review.
The review. That I agree with. The Premier League, I think, is the deal breaker.
Yeah, but same. Big up Stephen. True. Mikel Arteta must win something this season or go. Completely agree. Make sure you hit the like button, mate. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. I've never seen you in the chat before. Make sure you subscribe to Boring as well. Link in the description. Link in the title.
Thank you.
Big up Gunnar FC. City, Munich, and PSG are in the same bracket for Champions League. Or I think you know we were talking too long. Some of these comments are out of context now. Big up Blade. Boring AFC, Arteta fraud quantified, in my opinion. No previous managerial experience, 1 trophy in 6 years, 1 billion spent, to be decided end of this season. Yeah,
completely. He comes back to that, to be fair. He or they add more to it in a second in the next comment along.
Yeah. Big up, Chris. Big up, Blaine. I'm not saying he's actually a fraud, but what I have said there could be interpreted as such. Yeah.
I see, okay.
And that's what we mean. When we say fraud, we just mean that like he's just not what people are saying he is. Like even when people say, like when Gary Neville and all these people say, "Oh, he's done such a great job, he's turned the club around." Like I'm not being funny. If you put me in charge in 2019, gave me 1 billion to spend, I'm pretty sure I could have improved the squad from Mustafi and David Luiz and flipping Lucas Torre. I'm pretty sure my scout ID could have done a bit better than that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that he hasn't done good to like get us back to being in the Champions League and being taken us seriously, but they're acting like he's done miracles, bro. Like, I'm sorry. Big up Gunnar FC. I'm off to Shane's now. I'll see you later. See you later, man. I'll be at Shane's stream soon anyway. I'm gonna wrap things up in a minute anyway. I didn't realize the stream's been going on for over an hour now. I usually cut off for an hour anyway. Big up Chris. I feel Arteta should have went after last season. 22-23, you weren't expected to be in the title race, but you were. 23-24, 24-25 were season to win something. Yeah. And the thing is, 24-25, that was honestly the worst. That we were out of the title race by January, and we were out of like every competition by like. And I'm not in the argument that we was in the Champions League semi-final. Our attack plan was throw long balls by Thomas Partey. It was pathetic, man.
Yeah, I think the 23-24 one is unfortunate because we were so good in those final 18 games. We lost one game and it was Villa. It was one game against Villa. And I just think that was such a good season, 23-24. It just was what it was. Man City were better.
Yeah. We had a couple of these comments and I'm going to wrap up. Big up Blade, Dark Side. Is there any scenario by which you would keep Arteta? What is the minimum possible outcome at this point you'd be possible? For me, he has to win the title. He has to win the title. Like FA Cup and Carabao Cup are not good enough. I've not waited 6 years and $1 billion spent for him to just get away with that. He has to win the title, or he has to win the Champions League, or he has to win everything. It's as simple as that. It's quadruple or bust, mate. Like he has to win a big boy, or don't do a madness. Like that's the only reason for me he does. And even still, I'd even consider sacking him even if he wins the Premier League anyway. Because for me, he's not going to take us to the promised land. He's not going to do like back-to-back titles. He's not going to do like a Champions League or a three-peat or anything crazy. He's not doing it. He's not good enough. He's not good enough, mate. He should have really when he finished with Pep, he should have gone to Elche, Valencia, Racing Santander, and done some work experience there before he even thought about coming to Arsenal. Because in my lifetime, we've never really gone and got the best manager available. And it's annoying. And as much as I love Wenger, he was an unknown quantity that worked out. Yeah. But he wasn't like the best at the time. He ended up being the best for us at the time. And he ended up, for me, being, even though it's trophy-wise, it was a success, in terms of sustaining the club and getting us in the new stadium, he was amazing. And I always respect Wenger for that. And I don't think Arteta could have done that. He spent more money than all of other Arsenal managers combined in history. So, nah, not for me, mate. Boring, what do you say?
I kind of have already spoken about it, but I think that the Premier League is the minimum standard. I think finals can be lost, but the Premier League, Arsenal need to win the Premier League. Otherwise, I think we need to have that conversation.
Fair. No, that's fair. Big up, Chris. Last season for me, you had to win the league, especially when we had Slot coming in as an unknown quantity. No one predicted us to win the league. Yeah, that was so embarrassing. And you know what's so funny? When he was saying that, do you think when he got asked, do you think the title's over? And he said, over my dead body. And he ended up getting bodied, mate. That was so embarrassing. Honestly, this manager is such an embarrassment, man. The only thing I like about him is his hairline at this point, for crying out loud. Big up Chris again. I'm laughing at this because you're top of the league and in contention for all trophies, and they're still heated debate. It's because, listen, if we was in a situation with Wenger, I'd be calm. If we was in a situation with Klopp, I'd be calm. If we was in a situation with Flick, I'd be calm. If we was in a situation with, it's just this guy, bro. Like he's like the girl, yeah, that you text her, she's like dry, and then all of a sudden she's blowing up your phone, and then when you like want to go see her and stuff like that, you're getting aired, bro. It's just that disappointment. It's the hope that kills me as an Arsenal fan. I hate it because if I end up this season trophyless, I swear to God, bro. I swear to God, the crash out streams, I'm going to probably end up getting 100,000 subscribers because the crash out streams day to day, they'll be insane, man. They will be absolutely insane. Like, honestly, guys, I just want to be, I just want to win. I want to be happy. I just want to win, man. But
you won't be dark, yeah? You'll be dark expressions, yeah? Out here ringing your mum, why did you make me support this club?
Did you make me support Arsenal, blood? Big up, Chris. I always think, always think in Arteta review, not winning the league after having a lead you had this season and drop points. Yeah, I think for me the biggest ones were the Forest and the Liverpool games and the Chelsea, and getting a 1-1 draw away to Chelsea to 10 men were just embarrassing for me. He should have taken, and it's the thing, he doesn't take risks. He doesn't take risks because we've got to remember 3 draws is the same as 2 losses and a win. Just take the risk sometimes, man, for crying out loud. But I'm going to wrap things up there. Boring, do you want to end things off?
Well, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 50 subscribers so I can stream live and, I don't know, maybe rage bait some other people into long monologues about Mikel Arteta. So, yeah, give us a subscribe. That'd be amazing. Thank you, Ty, for having me. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Big up, Chris, to me. Yeah, I don't even want to get into that one. But thanks, everyone. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button. I'm going to be redirecting to Shane. Make sure you hit Darkside Raid when you get into the room. See you later, people. Peace. Until next time.